Yeah, I know that some of you are going to take offense with what I'm about to say, but it has to be said. By the way, this is the second time I'm posting this because I feel I can be more articulate with my thoughts. When one famous man of God came out to say that Nigeria has a spiritual problem, I understand why some of you took offense with it, because it seems like the church is always spiritualizing the problems of this nation. And maybe what we need right now is to demand that the leaders of this nation take pragmatic steps towards the betterment of the nation as a whole. But when you look at it from another standpoint, it's hard to convince me that this country does not have a spiritual problem, because somehow we always miss the point. We always miss the point. And I'm only saying this because it has to be said. I miss when I wasn't that notable a man of God that I could just speak my mind, But it has to be said. Compare and contrast. There are mega churches in this country. Yes, you are fuming over the fact that they have massive auditoriums. As far as they are concerned, they are supposed to be building factories, building roads for the people. That's weird, but I'll come to that. So you have churches like, I don't want to mention names, but there's a church, for instance, that has 2 world-class universities. All right. And recently has announced that they'll be building an airstrip, and everybody is fuming about that. But in comparison, you have states that receive federal government allocation, that have citizens that pay compulsory taxes, and in those states, you don't have one working airport. You don't have any world-class university, and you think the church is your problem. If that's not a spiritual problem, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Because if at all, if anything, I think that the church should be an inspiration to the government. And that's just testament to what effective resource management and leadership can accomplish. No matter how rich you think one ministry is, do you want to compare it to a whole nation or a whole state? Plus federal government allocation and the taxes that the citizens are paying. Why can't many states produce one good university? Why can't many states produce one airport? And so, whilst you are distracted by the prosperity of the church, it should help you think, well, how much more the government? And why hold a ministry to whom you don't pay taxes? A ministry that most of you don't even attend, you've never given offering. You're trying to tell them about what their financial priorities should be without holding the governments to whom you pay taxes accountable. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. And coupled with the fact that some of these mega churches are even doing things that you can argue are not their business. Some of them are building roads. One of the churches in question built roads and would have done more, allegedly, if they were allowed to. I think we get too distracted in this nation. See, all those other issues about tithing, those are theological issues that, honestly, some of us will never agree on, and that's okay. But at least from a big picture standpoint, from a national secular standpoint, no matter what you think a missionary university should charge for school fees, at the end of the day, it still benefits the nation that we have additional universities and world-class universities at that. Some states have not been able to do that. The church is not your problem. Think about it. Think about it. Don't get distracted. God bless you. Just my 2 cents.
Okay, so while I cannot deny the fact of this matter, and the point that the pastor is punching out conveniently and effortlessly, but the only problem I have with all of this is that, okay, maybe for you, for Pastor Aaron, I can understand. But the reason why a lot of Nigerians, and I think Pastor Aaron needs to know this, why a lot of Nigerians refuse to take Papa Adeboye's stance on the fact that Nigeria has a spiritual problem, is clearly because he's supposed to be the spiritual father of the nation. There are very many pastors, as it were, in this day and age. If there is one man of God that is iconic, that his influence is national, that's just for talking about the Nigerian context, that is like a father, even to the fathers of faith in this country, that is most respected, that has got a voice in the Christendom, as it were, and even beyond Christianity and beyond faith, and roots into other aspects of our nationhood, is Papa Adeboye. So when the doctor that is supposed to treat the problem is coming out to say that and hype or eulogize the problem, it becomes a problem in itself. It's just like going to meet a doctor for treatment, and the doctor starts to complain of the kind of ailments he's seeing in the body. And then, okay, fine, you are letting me know. But so what was the solution? I came here for you to give the solution. So if Papa Adeboye says that we have a spiritual problem, not a problem, but as the spiritual father of the country, and I say that with all understanding of who he is, personally and by revelation, he is not supposed to leave it at just diagnosis. So again, Pastor Aaron, one of the things that we ask that you people to do, as much as you have, and then I cannot ignore, you have to be blatantly ignorant to think that these guys do not have a chance of saying something true. I agree that there are some elements or spiritualizations of our problem. A lot of these problems have got spiritual undertone, and then you cannot take that away. There are a lot of destinies. The African continent in itself is supposed to have gotten emancipation if the Nigerian nation had become better. And so it is more like keeping Africans small by ensuring that Nigeria continue to miss the priorities. And that is very clear. However, what is the solution? Because if you say we've got it, except you are condemning us to say this is irredeemable, it is no longer solvable, we cannot get out of this mess, then we can understand, or then let it be clear that, oh, you tried your best, but it seems like the problem is bigger than us in itself. Then we can understand. If you agree that there is a problem, you have diagnosed the problem, what is the solution? Do we need to begin to sit back and just lament, or are we going to forget about it, or is there hope at all? That is the point. And that is what some of us said when Papa Adeboye said what he said. We do not disagree. Okay, not everybody, but most of us do not disagree that there's a problem. But what is the solution? That away from the spiritual realm. Also, we're also asking, does this also stop, is it the same spiritual problem that stops somebody like Papa Adeboye to be able to point his hands to the problem on society and agree that governance is not being effective? In the last 8 years, Papa Adeboye's criticism of the government has reduced, unlike what he did for Goodluck Jonathan. And so, is it the same spiritual problem that is stopping the flow of advice and counsels? Is it the same spiritual problem that has stopped Papa Adeboye and the rest of the Christian faith to stand up for Christians in the north that has continually been slaughtered? Is it the same spiritual problem that is stopping the Christendom to asking the National Assembly to protect the rights of Christians, just by the way every Nigerian is protected in all regions in this country? Is it the same spiritual problem that has stopped Papa Adeboye to continually meet with the cabinet, service chiefs, and ask that Christians, especially in the north, should be protected? Because day to day, there has been slaughtering of Christians everywhere. And I'm not saying this as a religious fanatism, as an extremist. If you see this video for the first time of me, and it gives you an impression that I'm joining a religion or I'm defending one religion, that's not a problem. But people that have been here understand that I am not that brother. However, there have been several, too many plethora of cases that has cause for concerns. The death of pastors, the killing and slaughtering of Christians, the continuous humiliation, the continuous mutilation of, as into that, for lack of better words, ethnic and religious cleansing going on in several places, Benue, Plateau, and a couple of all these places. If we say no, if we say there is a spiritual problem, is it a spiritual problem that has stopped us to engaging these people and asking them, protect our people? We have expected before, especially the Muhammad Buhari's era, that there would have been a Christian march asking government to protecting the citizens, because only a video is done in some part by artists, and there are Islamic groups requesting for it to be retracted, for it to be deleted, and all sorts. Only a video. But you see, people are dying daily, and the spiritual father of this country will say there's a spiritual. Sir, we agree. So what's the solution? What is the solution? What is the solution? What is the solution?